Welcome to the L.T.L Tutoring Central video series, and this week I'm talking about run-on sentences. So back to a little bit of grammar, and you should always edit for run-on sentences during your proofreading stage. So whenever you're proofreading your work, you'd want to look out for run-on sentences. You don't want run-on sentences in your essays, your book reports, speeches, whatever you're writing. And what is a run-on sentence? Well, basically a run-on sentence is when you have two or more independent clauses, or in other words, full sentences, incorrectly jammed together or joined together. Now, you can have independent clauses joined together into one sentence, but there are certain rules you need to apply. And we're going to talk about a few of these in this video. Now here's an example that almost everyone would know is a run-on sentence. Now let me read this. Darlene had never seen such a strange-looking car. It had a pink roof with seashells pasted all around the border, and the rest of the body was striped in various colors. She could not believe her eyes when she saw it. Now, most of you will know when you read this, there's something wrong. It's too long, and so you might identify this as a run-on sentence. Now, how do we fix that sentence, that long run-on sentence? Well, there are several ways, but here's just one example, and then we're going to look at some shorter sentences to give you a clearer idea. Let me read this again. Darlene had never seen such a strange-looking car. Period. New sentence. It had a pink roof with seashells pasted all around the border, and the rest of the body was striped in various colors. Period. She could not believe her eyes when she saw it. So you see that we've separated some of the sentences and we've joined a couple of the independent clauses. So there's more than one way. This could be done in several different methods, but that is one way in which you can change the sentence or correct this sentence. What you're doing is you're looking for subjects and predicates. You're looking for independent clauses, and these need to either be separated or they need to be combined in the correct manner. If you're not sure about subjects and predicates and coordinating conjunctions and conjunctive adverbs and those sorts of terms, take my basic English writing course because that will really help you a lot. In the meantime, we are going to talk about some of the rules right here, and this video will be included in that course. Many students believe that run-on sentences have to be long sentences. They think that it just means a long sentence, but this is not true. You can have a very long sentence that is not a run-on sentence at all. As long as all the phrases and clauses are joined together correctly and they're closely related, then you can have a very long sentence that is correct, that is not a run-on sentence. Alternatively, you can have short sentences that are run-on sentences. And here's a couple of examples. Adam came home from school. He was late. She sang, she danced. These are both run-on sentences, even though they're very short, especially the second one. She sang, she danced. But you have two independent clauses. She sang. She is the subject, sang is the predicate. That could be a complete sentence. She danced. Again, she is the subject, danced is the predicate. That could be a complete sentence by itself. Let's have another look at that short run-on sentence. She sang, she danced, and three ways that it could be corrected. Obviously, you could simply separate the sentences. She sang, period, she danced. Or you could join it with a coordinating conjunction. She sang and she danced. Now notice we need a comma when we join two independent clauses or two complete sentences with a coordinating conjunction. And there are 7 of the coordinating conjunctions: and, but, or, nor, for, so, and yet. Some people remember that using the acronym FANBOYS, which I've talked about before. Another method is to use a semicolon. Because these clauses or these sentences are really, really short, we could use a semicolon. She sang, semicolon, she danced. However, many teachers don't like this method, so I usually do not encourage students to use it. Now let's look at a few methods for correcting the other short run-on sentence. Adam came home from school. He was late. You could use a conjunctive adverb, and there's lots of them. However and therefore are two that are used often, so I've included however here. Adam came home from school. However, he was late. Now, with a conjunctive adverb, you need a semicolon before and a comma after when you're joining two independent clauses, or in other words, two complete sentences. Another method, Adam came home from school, but he was late. Now, you'll recognize this one from the last slide using a coordinating conjunction. But is one of those 7, and you need a comma before that when joining two independent clauses. Be careful, if it's a dependent clause, there are different rules. The last example, Adam came home late from school. Now, this is a different kind of change where we have eliminated one of the independent clauses altogether. And you can sometimes do that by turning it into a phrase or even an adjective or an adverb, as we did in this case. And so it's more of a rewrite and changing the structure of the sentence so that you only have one independent clause. Let's review some of the methods that you can use to correct run-on sentences when you're proofreading your writing. And remember, you should always proofread your writing. You could just use separate sentences. So you can just put in end punctuation, usually periods and capitals, and separate your sentences or your independent clauses. You could use a coordinating conjunction. Just remember that if you're joining two independent clauses, to use a comma when you use the coordinating conjunction, and I've listed them there. Or you could use a conjunctive adverb like therefore or however, and there are many of them. If you take the Basic English Skills course, I have a list of conjunctive adverbs there. Just remember to use a semicolon before and a comma after if you're joining two independent clauses with a conjunctive adverb. You could use a subordinating word such as although or because. Now, I didn't give an example in this slideshow, but you can do that and turn one of the independent clauses into a dependent clause. Or you can turn one independent clause into a phrase, an adjective, or an adverb like we did in our last example. So there are 5 methods, 5 things you can do to correct any run-on sentences you find in your writing and make your writing that much better. Now remember to always proofread your work. Your written work is not complete if you haven't proofread it and made the necessary edits. And some of those edits might require correcting run-on sentences. So you want to look out for run-on sentences and make the corrections. You can use one of the 5 methods that we talked about in this course to improve your writing. It'll change your grade and it'll make your writing that much better. Now, I'm offering you a discount on the Basic English Writing course. You can copy and paste that link right into your browser, or if you're watching on YouTube, there'll be a clickable link below. And this course talks about the parts of speech, sentence writing, how to combine sentences and use some of the coordinating conjunctions and conjunctive adverbs that we've been talking about in this video. It also talks about paragraphs and how to use those in your writing. So it's a great jumping off point to improving your written work. And you can do it on your own, in your own time, in your own home, at your own pace. But you can still ask questions and you still have support from yours truly, Ron Johnson. And also, anyone who takes one of my courses gets a list of discounts on other courses as well. It's only $10 US. You can't beat that. So always proofread and edit your work just to make sure that you have a quality finished product. Need more help, or does your child need some help? I'm always available to set up personal programs, and I also have some other courses that are available that you can do online. There's my contact information. The website is www.tutoringcentral.com, and my email address, tutoringcentral@hotmail.com. Of course, you can leave comments or questions here if you're watching it on YouTube or if you're watching it on Facebook. And below I'll have some clickable links to the discount on the course and also to the blog for this week. My name is Ron Johnson from L.T.L Tutoring Central, and I hope to hear from you soon. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, or ask a question. Until next week, have a wonderful time and keep learning.